One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
Men, you better men, you are the light of the world, and it gives light to everyone in the house. Better men, turn on the light, because every single time light stands next to darkness, light always wins.
Yeah, so here we are with episode 2 of the Better Man 365 podcast. Now, if you listened to episode 1, you know who I am. My name's Obi. I'm also the host of the Better Man event. And you would have heard from Brian Buckley, the founder of the Better Man event. You would have heard that now this thing has gone global. And what's really cool is the pandemic afforded us that opportunity. What we thought was going to be something that was going to be a downer, the Lord, of course, always takes and spins into an upper. And now, of course, we're bringing you a podcast. So this way you guys can get a little something on a more frequent basis on this kind of a platform on top of our events that happen once a year. Now, this year's event is going to be September 18th. It's going to happen in Florida. And if you heard the last episode that the big headliner is Denzel Washington, that is huge. On top of that, Kaka, who in the sports world, Kaka is about as global as it gets. That, Toby Mack, so many more to discuss, and that's why we're bringing you episode 2 with the entire leadership team of the Better Man event. And now we get to bring you introductions as everyone on the leadership team is excited about this lineup. So without further ado, let's get into that. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is that this is Better Man 365's opening theme music. Oh man, it's so tight. So today we're doing episode 2 of the Better Man 365 podcast, where I'm joined by some of these guys who, as I look at y'all's faces, I'm just so encouraged by the team that said yes to this, because ain't nobody getting paid. This is something that is a sheer labor of the heart. God has called you guys to be a part of Brian's vision. And here we are. So let's go around. Let's go around. And I don't know how we want to do this, but everybody introduce yourselves. Maybe by seniority. Brian, why don't you pick everybody out?
So I'm Brian Buckley. I'm the founder and CEO of Better Man Ministries. And I have surrounded myself with amazing guys, smarter, better looking, and they've been with me for years. Okay. Yeah. These guys love God. Oh, these are the guys that I call at 2 a.m. when I'm struggling with stuff. Okay. These are the guys that I reach out to. This is my group. This is my posse. This is my boys. So just so glad that they're on the journey with me. And do you want me to throw it to someone, bro?
Sure.
Introduce them. All right, Alex. How did you hear about it?
Thanks, Brian. My name is Alex Santiago. I'm one of the executive team members, also oversee volunteer logistics for all our events. And I met Brian about 3 or 4 years ago. He had come to our church, just coming to promote the Better Man event. And he and I got into a conversation. I locally lead volunteers across our church campuses. And we just struck up a conversation. I always had a heart for men's ministry, and he invited me to just come and attend, and I did. And I fell in love with what God was doing with Better Man and through Better Man to reach men for Christ. And then I got to join a group of what I like to call them a merry band of brothers that will go to hell and back to just reach a guy for Christ. And their passion for God, passion for family, and passion for others is amazing. So yeah, that's how I met Brian, and that's how we got connected.
Wow. Yeah, cool. And Alex, I will say something, because people are able to watch us and they're able to listen to this podcast. So this way we can kind of cover all avenues, man. Dude, you're such a great guy, man. If people could, right? He could be cast in a movie as like the lead head Navy SEAL. I would trust you with that role, bro. I would trust you with that role. So thank you for being a natural born leader.
Someone told me the other day, when they hear from Alex, they love it because he speaks right to their soul. And that's who Alex is. He's a guy that speaks to your soul.
What a gift.
A guy that you want in your on your team. and impacting the lives of guys for years.
Praise
Okay.
God, man.
Who's next on deck?
Antonio!
What is up? Hey, so I get the pleasure of being, just a fly on the wall here in the executive committee. I'm so thankful. Brian, one, thank you for the opportunity to come and serve alongside you guys with the Better Man executive team. It literally is a pleasure seeing that not just myself, who has also been affected by the Better Man event, as well as some friends that I've been able to bring along for the last couple of years. But then being able to serve alongside these guys, I mean, every time I get to sit in on an executive team meeting or just a powwow that we're having about what it's going to look like to have this speaker come or whatever that might look like, it is just so cool seeing all these guys put brains together, and I'm sitting back taking notes on life just the entire time. So super thankful, Brian, super thankful to the rest of the team here, especially you, Alex, Eric, man, powerhouses in the kingdom. You guys are going to get to hear from Eric in a second, but just super thankful. I get to partner because of a role that I hold with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, another organization, and we see the vision. We see the vision that that Better Man can have throughout the course of the world through the reach of men, and we just want to partner in any way that we can. So that's the goal.
FCA, bro, is in sync with Better Man. We are reaching that next generation of men through Antonio and FCA and all that they're doing. So what a great partnership that we have with them. So honored to make that work, bro.
Oh, awesome.
And next we got Eric Kozer. Woo! Man, I love Eric because he's been, and he'll talk about it, he's been impacted at the Better Man event, not just himself, but all of his employees. He leads organizations throughout the country. So, Koz, update us, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Brian. So I'm Eric Kozer. I'm a local entrepreneur, I guess, of sorts. Started off and got introduced to Better Man just as a guest, sitting in the crowd, probably almost 11 or 12 years ago. And I was just, blown away by the event and the content and the experience that I had. And I was actually invited by a friend, a mutual friend of Brian and ours, and went to the event. And then the following year, I was so impacted that I almost made it like mandatory requirement for attendance amongst all of the men that worked with us. And we brought close to like 60 or 80 guys that first event. And that was used to be on a Saturday morning. And everybody showed up that Saturday morning, and, a lot of young men got rocked. And I mean, young adults in that, 16 to 30 range. And it was just had such a profound impact. And then through my friendship with Brian, he invited me and asked me to join the leadership team, the executive team, probably 6 or 7 years ago. But I've kind of gone full circle with the event, first as just an attendee, as a guest, and now as a part of the executive team. Just super honored and privileged to be a part of what God's doing in the movement that He's creating through this event and through this opportunity to just help guys understand and recognize what it means to be better, and better dad, better friend, better husband, and better sibling, whatever that looks like. And our event does a great job, I think, of communicating that in a way that isn't beating guys over the head with a Bible. It's just, hey, how can we be a little bit better today than we were yesterday?
Wow. Yeah, well said. And this team, again, the fact that this team has bonded in such a way, like, let's talk about the success of Better Man, because Brian and I talked about how this started as a small group. I mean, when I joined, you guys had just done the UCF Arena, which was the college, and you guys had just sold that out. You had well, here, I'll let you talk about it, because Evander Holyfield spoke straight to my heart. Well, go ahead, Brian.
Well, yeah, that was 2 years ago in 2019, and I don't even know what to say about it, just that ESPN showed up because we had a opportunity to bring our star quarterback, and the guy that had the hit on him to almost have his leg amputated. They got together on stage. ESPN found out about it. It's just crazy things that happened that night. Forgiveness was a huge theme that was brought forth by all of our speakers. And as a guy, I struggle with forgiveness. I have issues that I have to deal with myself personally. That night I heard from Anthony Thompson about forgiveness, whose wife was murdered in the Charleston massacre. I heard from Evander Holyfield, who had to forgive Mike Tyson for biting his ear. Okay, he said, Buckley, it paid off, man. I got $35 million that night. Forgiveness pays off. And the whole theme became forgiveness. But I'm telling you, that's the past. I want to talk about what's happening on 9/18. I want to talk about what's happening.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to get there because remember, you also had Journey and Korn join each other on that stage, right? So then came 2020 and the pandemic hit. The pandemic forced us to go global, and you guys had Mariano Rivera, you had Darryl Strawberry on the stage, Lecrae, who's I believe 2-time Grammy Award winner. You guys asked me to host. My mind was just blown, and here we are. Now I can let you make the announcement about what's happening in 2021.
I want to hear from the guys. Each of you guys take a guy that's going to be at the event coming up in September and talk about it.
Uh-oh.
Here you go.
Well, I'm going to talk about the lesser-known speaker, which is A.R. Bernard. Not many people know he was back in the day when Ed Lewis Cole started videotaping men's ministry and started discipling men. He came out with the book, about biblical manhood. So I met, when I lived in New York, I went to A.R. Bernard and I met him and Edwin Lewis Cole, and I got really discipled in what it was to be a man. And the fact that it's coming around full circle, that when I first got introduced into men's ministry, men's discipleship was through an event at A.R. Bernard's church many decades ago.
I did not know that.
And so having him come to this event for me is just over the top, because this is the guy God used, his ministry, his church, his message that God had given him about discipling men. In fact, he just kept continuing. I kept, just in contact with his ministry. Long story short, he has discipled and is a discipler of men, has a heart for men's ministry. And when he speaks at Better Man this year, it's not just about his relationship with one of our premier speakers, but he is going to speak to the hearts of men as a man. Like Eric said before, we're not about beating men down with the Bible. We're about opening the Bible so men can walk through it and learn from it and adapt it into their lives. So learn, adapt, and overcome in your biblical manhood. So it's going to be great hearing from A.R. Bernard.
Wow. Well said.
Alex, that's so good. Like, one, I didn't know all of that. So that's so cool to hear all of that on the back end. From the athlete's perspective, what's super cool is, and also as somebody who I've previously attended a church here in our area where this speaker actually attended. He may even still attend there. I've actually been called to another area, but Kaká, Ricardo Kaká, who has played Major League Soccer here throughout the U.S., but also is super huge in South America where he's from. Just so cool seeing that he's somebody who's willing to say, yeah, I get to stand on this platform because of the skill, the talent that I have. But it's such a cool thing to see that his talent hasn't carried him somewhere where his character can't sustain him. So we're going to get to hear from Ricardo Kaká about the fact that, yeah, he's got this platform, but he gets to glorify the Lord with all of the gifts that he's been given there.
Wow.
So I'll leave the headliner to Brian, because that's how he likes to roll. The big fish all usually swim together. But we got the most recent Daytona 500 winner right here in our backyard, being Orlando-based ministry. The Daytona 500 winner, Michael McDowell's going to share his testimony in a really profound way, and that's kind of cool because it's a partnership that Better Man Ministries is actually doing with I Am Second, which is really cool, and that's an awesome faith-based ministry. Just ton. I love testimonials, and I think I Am Second does it pretty much the best out of anybody. So it's cool to have I Am Second joining us to share with Michael McDowell, and then Toby Mack, global faith-based superstar is gonna perform and share some testimony. He's gone through some recent trial and tribulation, some hardship within his personal life and his family and whatnot, and just an amazing man of God who's had 20 or 30-year career in the music industry, and it'd be super fun to hear what he has to share, but also get to have that live experience with some little mini concert, and get to experience that fellowship with everybody that's going to be here with us locally. But super cool to have Michael McDowell and Toby Mack as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toes. That, bro, you guys crushed it on the intros with those guys. And then the guy that we've been after for 2 years, putting together an opportunity to be in front of him and him to be in front of us, is Academy Award winner Denzel Washington. And when I tell people about Denzel, they're like, how did that happen? How Denzel? How can that even? I can't fathom that that's going on, because truly we're an event that is just a few years outside of my garage when we started this thing 16 years ago. But now we've got the New York Times 21st century #1 actor of the century. He is, my wife and I watched Training Day the other night, and like literally shook the whole time through the movie. The guy is a badass, and I'm just excited that he's going to be a part of our event. And he's never used his platform to talk about his spiritual life. He's never done anything like this. This is the first time he's ever done anything like this. So we are jacked up that he is going to be with us at the Better Man event on 9/18. Utilize that, guys, to bring a friend that doesn't know Jesus. Utilize that Denzel Washington component to let guys know, hey, you won't come to church with me, and you probably won't go to a Bible study with me, but come and hear from Denzel Washington. They will come to hear from DW. And when DW gives his testimony, it's going to impact everyone there. My challenge is a lot more women want to become a part of our event as well because of DW. So we'll take care of that. We love our wives. And if they want to be a part of your home host site, that's legit. You can have that happen. But we've got 3 places for you to watch this event. We've got your home, we've got your church, or you can be here live in Orlando to watch the whole thing live. So don't miss it in whatever form or fashion you want to be a part of us.
Well, and I'm really glad that you brought it up in that way, Brian, because you're right. And Eric hit the nail on the head a little bit earlier that Better Man is headquartered in Orlando. But as we look at the facts of Orlando, I mean, you've got everybody from around the planet who comes to Orlando because this is the entertainment capital, family especially. And we get to be the headquarter here as we broadcast somebody right now who's watching from Alaska, somebody right now who's in Mexico who's watching. This has really given us an opportunity to really push that, you said it earlier, to be in love with your wife and to be a better man with your wife. The side effect that causes at work, with your family, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So that's what we're pushing here. It's not something that we're pushing. Hey, we want you to realize that, you have to read the Bible from front to back, and you have to do this, and you have to give up this, and you have to, you know what? If that stuff comes, it'll come. But right now, we're challenging each other to be the best guys that we could be while we've got this time on this earth.
Obi, you were telling me the other day when you were not a Christian that you didn't want to be one because you thought it would be so stinking boring. You wouldn't be able to do all the things that brought you all this fun. Well, and that's not the case, bro. Is it?
Well, so here's my story. So my story is I grew up in the church. At 17, I got a job in radio, and I was like, peace, deuces to the church. And I didn't come back until 34. Because, the church the whole time told me that I couldn't have fun. There was no drinking. There was no this. There was no that. And after you hear that, you're like, wow, that doesn't exactly sound like a party. now at 34, I've gone through certain things that now have pointed me to, dude, you are so much more valuable than you give yourself credit for. And each of these guys here, they're on this screen and you're listening to them through this podcast because they've come to the realization that the Lord has created them for something amazing, just like you listening or watching right now. So beautiful, man. And now that I'm back in business, baby, I can tell you right now, this is better than any high, better than any alcohol buzz, better than any feeling of purchasing something. This relationship with the Lord, once you have some clarification, man, it pays beyond belief.
And with you being our MC, bro, you bounce all over. Dude, if you guys want to see energy, you watch Dr. Obi Diaz come out on stage, bro. You will be blown away. He's going to be bouncing all throughout the night at the Better Man event.
Okay.
Well, listen, I apologize. I am like an excited chihuahua. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, so like you said, Obi, this event is not a church event, okay? But it is a Christ-centered event, okay?
Right.
That being said, when guys come to this, if they haven't been to one of these events, they're going to be blown away when they see the energy, the intensity, the tenacity of the actual event itself. It's a rock concert. It's a church service. It's an ESPN network interviews. We have the gamut of things because basically this event is testosterone driven through the Holy Spirit, if I can say that. I mean, this is where guys want to get together, where a guy that wouldn't go to church or wouldn't go to a small group will come and hang out and have a great time. What I love about what Brian said is that you can watch this at home. You can have guys come over to your house, hang out, have a backyard barbecue, play pool, hang out in the pool, whatever it is that you do as a hangout, and then watch the event together, and you won't be disappointed. Plus, it gives guys an opportunity to come together and feel comfortable, because before they even come to know what you care about, they need to know that you care, right? And so when guys get together, that's when we build relationships. That's when we share our struggles, our victories. We all put on our pants the same way. Just because you go to church or you don't go to church doesn't mean you're immune to life's issues. The important thing, like you said, Obi, that you got to a point in your life where you recognize that relationship with God is better than any high, better than anything that you were experiencing before. And that's what we want guys to come to know. We want them to know that it's not just about going to church. It's about living for Christ and the joy, the fun, the intensity, the tenacity that it is to walk in Christ. Let me tell you, as a man, this event is not your granddaddy's event, right? This is an event for men. We just want to have a good time. We want to fellowship. There's going to be a tailgate. We're going to have a tailgate party if you're here in Orlando. If you're not here in Orlando, have your own tailgate party in your house, in your backyard, in your driveway. If you live in a cul-de-sac, close the street down, have some fun there, and then put a giant, blow up screen and then have the neighborhood see it, So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait for everyone that's watching us and listening to us. Join us, whether live or online. You're not going to regret it at all.
Antonio, what is FCA planning on doing on 9/18, bro?
Man, so not only will we be having host nights all over Florida and really kind of throughout the rest of the nation, but we're partnering specifically here in Orlando at the live event to make sure that during that tailgating time, man, we're going to have some massive games and fun planned alongside another member of the executive team who's really kind of overseeing that entire detail. But, man, like, you're going to talk about football tosses, free throw shootout. I mean, it's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun. And on top of that, having the food trucks with the barbecue, the whatever that might end up looking like. But, man, so excited for what we'll get to do from an athletic perspective right before the live, and also in the homes of coaches and athletes throughout the state of Florida and beyond.
Wow, that's so good. Hey, I want to piggyback off of what Antonio just said. That I think if you're somebody who's listening from out of state, Florida is happening right now. We got a lot of stuff going on. And Orlando is really kicking right now, too. So if you wanted to make this a family event where you brought the family out and you came to our event, you're more than welcome. I mean, I think Spirit Airlines right now, the flight, I mean, you may not, just in case we want them as an endorser in the future, let me not say what I was going to say. But Spirit Airlines, you can get a flight to Orlando and be a part of this event if you're from out of state. If not, like Brian mentioned earlier, you can turn your whole house into a site. And like what Alex said, Eric, what do you think about this event and us going global too?
Well, what's interesting is I was going to piggyback on what those guys were saying. Again, as a local businessman, what we did was we actually, we broadcast live at several of our venues. So, we've got restaurants and other different businesses that we own, but we actually had the event being broadcast live across multiple locations throughout Central Florida, which was just, in our opinion, an amazing opportunity for that family that's coming in to grab a meal, to potentially get exposed to it. You never know what's going on, with the uncle or the brother or the son, and they just happen to be walking in for some burgers and fries, and happen to hear Daryl Strawberry's testimony or whatnot. So for all you guys out there that have venues, that own businesses, that have the opportunity to actually stream the event live, your local business can become a host site as well. And we utilize that and the opportunity that we've been given through that platform. And there were several thousands of families and individuals on the night of the event that came through our different locations and had the opportunity to sit there and see 15, 20 minutes, half hour of the event while they were having a meal. So encourage you guys to do that as well. But for us, COVID was really the launching pad, which took us from primarily a Central Florida-based ministry, and to your point, really took us global and gave us the opportunity through the simulcast to reach places that we've never been able to reach before. So in the middle of a global pandemic, when everything was going crazy and we had to cancel our live event, which would have been the largest event we would have had up until this date in the 20-year history, almost 20-year history of the ministry, God shifted and the ministry shifted, and He provided us with just an incredible opportunity, as only God can, through His divine intervention. So we're super excited about what's happening. Antonio mentioned Ricardo Kaká and huge international, global soccer, football. Andy's not on the call, but that's proper football. Our brother Andy, Britt. So it's going to be huge.
To add on to what you're saying, I'm just getting an email now that is talking about how that we need to bring the Better Man event to the Middle East. So through a relationship and friend of our ministry, we are going to be, our goal 6 months ago, Obi, was 50 states and 50 countries. Okay. Well, this one opportunity that's coming in now is going to go to 66 countries. 66 countries in the Middle East. And it's also going to be all over Latin America, Central, South America. So this global thing that Eric was talking about, this thing is going global. We want to do Matthew 28, bro. We want to bring this message to the world, and let us spend the money in putting this event on. Let us spend the 6 figures that it costs to get this thing going. You guys spend the $19 to be a host site. Give me a freaking break. That's it. $19. Get a host site. Get on board. CDW, Toby Mack, and all the speakers that we spoke about. Let it be a launching pad for your church. Men's ministry typically is failing. It's not cool. It's old. Let Better Man start your men's ministry in 2021. And let it grow. We're going to have discipleship partners that come after it. So is this a rah-rah event, Buckley? Heck no. This is the start of your walk with Christ as a man. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Bring it to your church, your business, your home, your buddies.
Man, so good. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's just recap again that you've been talking to the whole executive team here of Better Man. And now that the Better Man event, because the event is, we can throw an event a couple times a year, but the 365 podcast, this is going to be to enrich those guys and just kind of keep throwing nutrients, a little protein powder here, a little BCAAs. I don't know for those of you guys who work out, you know what I'm talking about, but those are the supplements. And that's what Better Man 365 is going to be all about. So I'm going to charge you guys with the responsibility here. And that is that you guys say okay to being on the podcast again.
You got it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And what's going to be cool is not only will we talk about the major event, which is happening again, Buckley, 9/18.
9/18, buddy.
But in the future, we'll have some really great, rich podcasts with again, athletes, celebrities, but not only that, some doctors and therapists and stuff like that. This way we can ask them some real man questions, not what we hear from the public, our own man questions. So it's going to be so enriching for guys to be able to check in with us. And again, gentlemen, thank you from Eric to Alex to Antonio, Brian. Always appreciate it. And I love that you guys wore your Better Man gear. That's going to be another thing. If people want to already be ready, like if you want to show up to where we're doing the Better Man event in your Better Man stuff, then you can go to the website and we have the app as well. All right, you guys. Till the next,
Awesome.
You know what? We're gonna have to come up with some sort of a way to like either do a virtual high five or like a virtual fist pound. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We'll come up with it. But guys, thank you again, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Love you.
Awesome, man. Take care.
Yeah, love you guys.
Have a great one.
Take care.
See ya.
Have a great one.
This year, we're bringing the Better Man event right into your home. Join us live September 18th, featuring Academy Award winner Denzel Washington, Brazilian soccer legend Ricardo Kaká, Grammy Award-winning artist Toby Mac, Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell, and Reverend A.R. Bernard. A global simulcast event. Learn what it truly means to become a better man. Register online at bettermanevent.com.